Hey, good morning. I am so happy that you have decided to stop by the Center for Spiritual Living Cape Coral virtual celebration this morning. We have a fabulous, fabulous day for you. We're going to start with a meditation, go into a welcome, go into some music by Eddie Watkins Jr. Woohoo! You're going to love it. You're going to absolutely love it. So stay tuned, stay with us, and thanks for being here. Happy Mother's Day, everybody, and I'll see you again soon.
Thank you for joining me in meditation. This is offered by the Center for Spiritual Living Cape Coral. My name's Valerie Data. I'm a licensed practitioner, and it's my pleasure to bring you this meditation service. So let's get centered, and we'll do a little breathing to relax the body and come fully present to this time of meditation. So you want to begin with the breath in through your nose, hold it for a second at the top, and then exhale to twice slow through the mouth, exhaling fully, allowing the emptying of your lungs. So you fill up your abdomen, fill up your lungs, and then allow all of that to contract. So let's do it a couple of times. Breathing in, hold, and breathing out. Recognizing we have no place else to go right at this moment, we're allowing ourselves time to be present in our body. Become aware of your feet, just relaxing, giving permission to your entire body to just relax into this moment. And now shifting our attention to the breath, allowing for a deeper breath as we go deeper within. Holding the breath and then appreciating that we can do this. We can breathe and just come present to that quiet place within. The quiet place within, going deeper, becoming aware of the quiet within. And today we're listening to our heart. Did you know that your heart beats only for you? Listen to your heart. Maybe put your hands over your heart. Breathe easy with your heart. That rhythmic breath, the breath of the universe, the breath of life, which is the self-givingness of life to life. For in those 9 months where you were in the womb, you heard the heartbeat of your mother and your heartbeat, and they were in tune to the rhythm of the universe. This is how grandly designed we are. We have the mechanism within us, a place of refuge, place of soothing rhythm, a refuge within. So we honor mothers today for doing their part. I'm talking about the essential part of birthing you, wherein they cared for themselves and cared for you during that 9 months of the right nutrition and exercises and attention to themselves at the doctor and attention to the baby, and then the birthing wherein the emotional connection is there, and the paying attention to you as a baby and all your needs. That's absolutely required for you to survive. And of course, there's more for you to thrive. But if nothing else, perhaps you didn't have a long time with your mother. Perhaps there were others who came along, an older sister, an aunt, a grandmother, a foster mother, a father, someone else who nurtured you, who gave you the unconditional love and the nurturing that allowed you to thrive. This is all based on the mothering principle. We have it within us. And as we love ourselves, we have the compassion to love others. So let's take a moment to be thankful that as an adult, we have the ability to care for ourselves. We have the responsibility to love ourselves, to nurture ourselves. And we do this, one of the ways we do it is in meditation. Can take the time to be loving and gentle and kind with ourselves. Taking the time to be soothed and comforted in the silence. When we do this, we're even doing so much more good for ourselves because we are in fact strengthening our immune system. When you think good thoughts, when you take time for meditation, you relieve stress in healthy ways. When you're loving to yourself, you're actually producing an alkaline environment, which is so important for the immune system. You're doing a great thing. And how beautiful this morning that you've come together, virtually but collectively, in that divine energy field of oneness, like-mindedness. And what a blessing it is to be reminded that we have the ability to nurture ourselves, to soothe ourselves and care for ourselves, so we live a more centered life. So now begin to breathe more deeply. Allow yourself to release your hands and bring them gently onto your lap. And to feel the goodness of the breath. To feel the goodness of knowing the truth about how magnificent you are as a being. You have the choice to shine your light into the world, to be that compassionate, loving person, to be the expression of God that you truly are. So I invite you to anchor that today with me. Be the loving light that you are. Now gently bring yourself back into the room, and as you're ready, open your eyes to the day. Thank you so much. Namaste. And please stay tuned now for the rest of Sunday celebration. Thank you.
Hello there. Happy day and welcome to this Sunday's presentation from the Centers for Spiritual Living, Cape Coral, Florida. I'm Reverend David Renee Jennings, Associate Minister here in Cape Coral.
And I'm Vicki Jennings. I'm the Music Director. Welcome.
Indeed. We'd like to get part of our fellowship started by doing a blessing that includes us and you, and for the benefit of all of the people out there that we know and love. And it goes like this. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living. We know who you truly are. You are the spiritual image and likeness of God. We appreciate you, we love you, and we're grateful for you.
Welcome this morning.
Please stay tuned for an uplifting, inspiring message from Reverend Shel Redfern. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, and we hope to see you in person real soon. All the best.
Good morning, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Cape Coral. It's a beautiful day to be alive, and we're getting ready to take a journey deep inside. We're going to the land of milk and honey, where you don't need no money. Talking about the journey deep inside, with infinite spirit as the guide, where your imagination can run free. You can realize all your dreams. Talking about the journey deep inside, with infinite spirit as the guide. Everything you want is already there. Whatever you desire, it will appear. Oh yeah, yeah. We'll be living in heaven here on earth. Experience life for all it's worth. We're talking about the journey deep inside, with infinite spirit as a guide. But what you believe you can achieve, let your wild horses run free. We're talking about the journey deep inside, with infinite spirit as a guide. Everything you want is already there. Whatever you desire, it will appear. Oh yeah, yeah. We're going to the land of milk and honey, where you don't need no money. Talking about the journey deep inside, with infinite spirit as a guide, where your imagination can run free, and you can realize all your dreams. Talking about the journey, talking about the journey. But let the spirit be your guide, let the spirit be your guide, let the spirit be your guide. Let the spirit be your guide, let the spirit be your guide, let the spirit be your guide.
Good morning. I'm John Coriell, one of the licensed spiritual practitioners here at the Center for Spiritual Living in Cape Coral, Florida. And as we begin today with a reading, starting off with words from Joel Goldsmith. Prayer is conscious oneness with God, always resulting in bringing forth harmony, peace, joy, and success. It is a holy state of being and never leaves us where it finds us. The kingdom of God is within you. Therefore, prayer must be directed within, to that point in consciousness where the universal life, or God, becomes individualized as you and as me. As Reverend Shell will be talking about soon, listening to your heart, which we could also call the still small voice within each one of us. As Emerson said, prayer must not be understood as going to God for something. Prayer is the union of ourself, the individual soul, with God, the universal soul. And actually, the individual soul and the universal soul are not two, but one. It comes to us from the heart. Listening to your heart is all about listening to that still small voice within where the answers are, just waiting for us to search them out. Let us turn now to that wonderful place within where peace abides, and simply know that God is right here where we are. This wonderful celebration today and pure good message from Reverend Shell. We just know that all is in perfect divine right order. And a joyous feeling comes up from it all. So we just say thank you. Thank you, thank you for a wonderful celebration today. And as we know that to be so simply together, we can say, and so it is. And now let me introduce that wonderful thought for today from our own Reverend Shell Redfern.
wish everybody a happy Mother's Day today. And so we're going to begin with a little bit of Mother's Day humor. You ready? Yeah, you know me and my jokes, so yeah, you have something to look forward to, right? Right. All right, first one. Why did the youngster chop his joke book in half? Why did the youngster chop his joke book in half? Because his mother told him to cut the comedy. That was bad. That's the worst one. The next one. Why do mother kangaroos not like it when it's rainy outside? Because the kids play inside all day long. That's horrible. It's funny, but it's horrible. This one's my favorite, though. What did the digital clock say to its mother? Look, Ma, no hands. That one I like a lot. That one's really cute. And because we all know that I love definitions, what is the definition of minimum? Oh, a really tiny mother. Maybe you have to like spell that out. M-I-N-I-M-U-M? Minimum? Get it? Oh, that's horrible too. I know. So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on Mother's Day today, so we did have to give it some presents. But the topic is listen to your heart, and it's an absolutely brilliant topic. We're going to expand on the ideas that we were talking about last week and really take a look at this, listen to your heart. Now, the notes from home office said that the reason that they have this theme for Mother's Day is the first sense to develop in an embryo is hearing. And the first sound that an embryo hears is its mother's heartbeat. The heartbeat, the voice of the heart, is primal. It exists in everything. It is the wisdom and guidance of the universe or the divine. It is where our intuition resides, and it is forever speaking, guiding, imparting itself to, through, and as us. And when we listen and pay attention, we can hear it call upon our life. Well, that idea, that thought, actually reminded me of when we were at Asilomar this summer. We traveled to Asilomar, which is a gathering place for many religious scientists, has been for many, many years, and went to a seminar. And Reverend David and I attended a meeting or a seminar within the seminar, one of the, like a small group, that was on heart math. Now, if you've never looked into or heard of heart math, I would highly recommend you look into this. It's really, really fascinating. And both Reverend David and I enjoyed the heck out of that seminar that we attended. And so the idea with heart math is that they have learned through measurement, we have this idea that our brain talks to and orders our heart around. But what the heart math people have found is that the heart talks back to the brain as well. So this is not a one-way communication, brain to heart. This is brain to heart, heart to brain to heart, heart to brain. They literally converse, which is kind of interesting. Not even kind of interesting, it's very interesting if you ask me. And in fact, there's more communication going from the heart to the brain than there is from the brain to the heart. Isn't that fascinating? So the whole idea behind heart math then is to start to work from the heart. And they have a way of transforming your life by working more from the heart, being aware of what the heartbeat is. It has wave patterns, and those wave patterns change depending upon the mood that we're experiencing. If we're experiencing anxiety, it'll be a different wave pattern than if we're in, say, gratitude, than if we're in, say, love, than if we're in such a thing as anger. So this wave pattern changes, and that wave pattern has an effect on our physiology, and that effect can be things like disease. Fascinating. So when we can get into our heart and learn how to work with our heart and keep our heart in a constant state equivalent to gratitude, our life changes. Our moods change, everything changes. And the other thing that these folks have found is that energy is sent out not just to our brain from our heart, but it's sent out into the world from our heart. That's kind of where we broadcast from, is from our heart. So they have gone one step farther to cultivate a way of meditation where it's coming from the heart as opposed to from our brain or anywhere else, that it comes from the heart, because it's going to be far more effective and far more powerful that way. So it's absolutely fascinating. And just this idea of the power of the heart is confirmed by the work that HeartMath has done. So definitely take a look at it. Definitely take a look at what they're doing. They even have a little electronic device that you can attach to your ear, of all things. And you wear it around, it tracks your heart rhythms on your phone. Really interesting. And then helps you to be conscious of what's going on with your heart. And what they return you to, again, is gratitude. We talk about that all the time, the importance of gratitude. Well, here there's the physiology is being proven in HeartMath. So that was my first point, the first thing that kind of came to mind when I saw this as a topic. As usual, when I was bringing together things for today, I just started stumbling into heart stuff all over the place, being as it was my topic. And the reading for May 7th in my Book of Awakening, you guys have seen this if you've been watching the readings and meditations on Facebook. Book of Awakening, Mark Nepo, May 7th. It was a beautiful sun-filled day. I had driven 300 miles to see her. She was 94 and had been in one room for close to 8 months. I was her firstborn grandson, and she was happy to see me. But after catching up, we sat in silence at the edge of her bed, and finally she complained about how gray of a day it was. I realized then that her one window hadn't been cleaned in almost a year. When I said this, she chuckled, as only someone 94 can, and uttered with her Russian accent, "Got a dirty eye? See a dirty world." It is the same with our minds and our hearts. For our very self is the one window that we have into this life. And so often we suffer the mood of a dirty window, leaving the brilliant world gray. Perhaps the purpose of authentic relationship is to help each other keep our minds and our hearts clear. Perhaps inner work is the ordinary art of window washing, so that the day is fully the day. Isn't that beautiful? So in the same way as HeartMath is talking about being conscious of the heartbeat and what's going on in your heart using mathematics and methods and so on, Mark Nepo right there said it so beautifully and eloquently. You know, are we looking out of a dirty window? You know, what is in front of our heart that is clouding what we're seeing as reality? And I think that it's very, very important for us to recognize what's going on there and to define what's going on there and to take responsibility for what's going on there, because it is our responsibility. Now, last week we talked about The Seed of the Soul by Gary Zukav. Wonderful book. That book study that I had mentioned will be starting probably about the second week of June. That's when you should look for it. We'll be having advertising going out on it very, very shortly. But it'll start the second week of June, because I'd like to use it throughout this month, and then we'll go back and study it. So, Seed of the Soul. So, as you may or may not recall, the quote that I liked the most was, "When the energy of the soul is recognized, acknowledged, and valued, it begins to infuse the life of the personality." Here's the good part. When the personality comes to fully serve the energy of the soul, that is authentic empowerment. Okay. So to me, the heart is where the soul lives. The heart is where the soul lives to me. And it is speaking to us all the time. And what Gary Zukav is coaching us through here is saying, okay, you have a personality and you have a soul. And they're two different things, but they're here to service each other. And the idea is to learn how to bring your personality in service of the soul. In other words, in service of what we brought in here from past experiences, maybe outside this lifetime, what we are here to do. We came with a certain tool set so we could do that, so that we can live a purpose-filled life. Or as he said it, an authentic, empowered life. So couldn't want anything more than that. Now his chapter 4 is actually called Heart. So he goes into the heart in a big, big way. And before I dive into this, I want to talk about feelings and emotions. Because we often use those two words interchangeably. I do. Gary does in his book here. But I'm going to suggest that maybe we look at them in two different ways. Now you remember that Brene Brown said that we know when we're feeling something because we literally physically feel it in our body. Those are our feelings. They're called feelings for a reason. There's something going on in our body. We have a response in our body to something that happened out here. Our feelings about that, right? I think it would be grand if we could think about feelings as being attached to the personality. Because the personality is responding to what's going on out here in the world, right? So it would be conscious. So the feelings are a conscious thing. It's a response to what's going on in the world. Emotions, on the other hand, and this is actually the definition by Psychology Today. Feelings are conscious. Emotions can be conscious, but they're largely unconscious. They come from the subconscious mind. And I think much that's in the subconscious mind comes with our soul. So I think it would be cool to think about dividing feelings and emotions into two different things. Feelings attached to the personality, related to what's going on in the world and how we're interacting with the world, and emotions being attached to the soul, or something that goes far deeper than what's going on in the world. Make sense? And that way we can talk about them as two different things moving forward, okay? So like I said, this is Shell's definition. Gary Zukav uses feelings and emotions interchangeably, but I think it's kind of nifty to think about separating them. Now here's what Gary Zukav says. The logistics and understandings of the five sensory personality originate in the mind, in the intellect. They are products of the intellect. The higher order of logic and understanding that is capable of meaningful reflection of the soul, that comes from the heart. So let me read that again. The logistics and understandings of the five sensory personality originate in the mind. They are products of the intellect. The higher order of logic and understanding that is capable of meaningful reflecting of the soul comes from the heart. And I think that's why I wanted to divide feelings and emotions into two different things. Because what we're attempting to do here in listening to the heart is to find that still small voice that's within each and every one of us. The voice of the soul. It's within each and every one of us. And Gary has stories of people just turning away completely from that voice. And they live a life of longing for something. But if we're not going to experience emotions and dig to the bottom of where those emotions are coming from, we're never going to understand who we are on the inside. Not based on our experiences, but based on the heart, the soul of who we are. And then the soul and the personality cannot be in partnership. We have to come to understand and hear what's going on from our heart. It is different than what's going on in our personality. They're two different things. I kind of really, really like Gary Zukav's approach on this. I think it bears paying attention to. So emotions reflect intentions. So our soul is here pushing us in a way, right? pushing us towards things. And we can tell when we're out of alignment because we're going to have an emotional response. So say we've decided to marry somebody, and there's something inside of us that just doesn't feel good about this. And marriage is something that we've always wanted. It's something we've always desired. And now you meet a nice young lady or young man or whatever, and you're preparing for the wedding, and something's off. And we can push that down, and we often do. But if we follow that emotion to its source, we're going to figure out what's out of alignment. Now, an interesting way that Gary Zukav explained this was that the personality has many layers, many colors. You could almost think of it like a stacked bunch of colors like a rainbow, right? That's the personality, separated into all these different things. And when you bring all those colors together, what does it become? Pure white light. So the white light would be the light of the soul. And it comes into full fruition when it's got the personality behind it and supporting it, which is absolutely wonderful. When we learn how to listen with new ears to our heart, right? And what's the absence of that light? What's the absence of the rainbow and when everything's out of alignment? Well, that's when evil happens, he says. Because there's no listening to the inside, and there's no listening to the personality, and that's when evil happens. Because we're turning away from who we are. That makes a lot of sense. He says, a personality that is not whole lives in a state of splinteredness, as represented by the individual colors, or a combination of them. A personality that is not splintered lives in a state of wholeness, as represented by white light. And a personality that loses touch with its soul, that loses the source of its light, is a personality that has become capable of what we call evil. And that's represented by blackness. Fascinating. Fascinating. So what am I after here? Where are we going with all of this? I think it's really important that we develop the capacity to discern the voice of the heart, which would be the equivalent of the voice of the soul, and listen to it. I'm going to suggest that those are in the emotions. So it's not necessarily in response to what's going on here. It's something deeper than that. It's a drive, it's a voice, it's something deeper than that that's pushing us or pulling us to something or from something. And what Gary Zukav and I am encouraging us to do is to follow that emotion so that we can get to the core of what it is. And that's when we can start to begin to support our soul, our heart, with our personality. And that's what this life is about. That's exactly 100% what this life is about. So I know you're wondering, what would Ernest Holmes say? So glad you asked. 1 minute here, I've got to get my Kindle warmed up. This is from Living the Science of Mind. God talks to the heart. While we admire the intellect, we must realize that the intellect is not the creative factor of the universe. Rather, it is the feeling that is creative. So I would put in emotion there, right? It is emotion that is creative. The real creative power of the mind is deeper than the intellect. It passes into the realm of feeling and acceptance. Yet it is the intellect or the self-conscious faculties that must speak the word in order that every obstruction may be cleared away. So Holmes is saying right here that the personality and the soul have to work together in order for things to come forward. We're being gifted with this personality for a reason, and it's in support of the soul. And the soul speaks to us what? From our heart. Okay? We could coin no better expression than to say that God speaks to the heart through a language of feeling, and a feeling which is always affirmative. So when we feel that we are going in the right direction in what we would call our heart of hearts. Isn't that interesting that that's the phrase, in our heart of hearts? We just know it to be true. We just know it to be so. Pay attention to that, because that is our soul and our personality coming together and giving us a life that we love. How about we take this into prayer? So taking a moment to turn within and knowing together there is one thing going on, one power, one presence, one life, one love. There is one heart. It is a singular heart. And each of us is part of that heart. We are in that heart. That heart is in us. It is seeking fuller, freer expression, using our personality to create the space and the way for it to express itself fully. So today, let us give ourselves the permission to be open and available for what the heart is saying to us, through us. We know that it is revealing life in greater ways, and we leave ourselves open to what that could look like for each and every one of us. Open and available. I know that more love, peace, and joy is the result of this, not only for our own lives, but for all of those around us, because that's the way it works. For this and so much more, I am so eternally thankful and grateful, and I let it be. So I invite you to anchor this with me by saying, and so it is. So it is. Happy Mother's Day. We'll see you next week.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Mother's Day. And my name is Karen GIDLEY. I am on the Leadership Council. And this is the time now to show gratitude for all that has happened here today. We offer several ways to give. There's currently a number on the screen that you can text your donation to. And that number is 239-320-3820. There's a one-time sign-up prompt, and after that you can just put in your amount, the dollar amount, and it'll approve it. And it's that easy. You can visit our website at cslcapecoral.org and click the donate button. There's also, if you want to mail in a check, mail it to this address. It's 406 Southeast 24th Avenue, Cape Coral, Florida, 33990. And there's also an automatic funds transfer on a weekly basis, bi-weekly, or monthly, whichever you would choose. There's also one more thing, the Amazon. If you shop on Amazon, go to smile.amazon.com, and Amazon will donate a portion of your purchase to CSL Cape Coral. Put your hand over your heart and just know that your tithe is being blessed. And today I know the activity of divine abundance is at work in my life and in the life of this center. And I give and receive generously as I live in the flow of bountiful good. I speak a word of blessing over this tithe with the appreciation and love, and I accept these offerings and gifts. Divine love through me blesses each gift and each giver. I know that this has been given here circulates to do great works both within this spiritual community and in the world at large. Standing in gratitude, I release these words, so please join me in saying, and so it is. Again, happy Mother's Day, Amen, Namaste, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi guys, and now it's time to stand in the light. When we stand in the light, we stand knowing the truth about a situation. If you are on Facebook or on YouTube, sorry, word went right on my, if you're on Facebook or YouTube, there's a comment section. So I invite you to write what you are standing in the light for right in that comment section. If it's after Sunday celebration, please stop by our website, www.cslcapecoral.org, and we have a prayer request page. Please put your prayer requests there, and the practitioner corps and myself and Reverend David will pray over those requests throughout the week. So I invite you to do that for sure. So again, when we stand in the light, we stand in the light knowing the truth of something. So I am standing in the light for my mom and all the other mothers out there, knowing today is a tremendous Mother's Day for all of them. I'm standing in the light for my little precious, knowing her perfection, and I am standing in the light for each and every one of you, knowing your highest and best is unfolding with grace and ease. I'm going to say a short blessing over all of these requests. I know that all we need do is speak the word and it is heard. So the word has been spoken into this large field of law where it cannot go unanswered. Each and every request has been heard and is acted on by law, and good and more good is showing up as our experience for this and so much more. I am grateful and thankful, and let it be, and so it is.
Here we all are, gathered together in this place. Why are we here? What is our purpose? Spirit reveal. How do we know what's true and what's real? We may not know where life's road will lead, but it doesn't matter long as we believe that God is the answer. God is the answer. God is the answer to whatever the question may be. What's going on in this world today? Where do we fit? And what can we do to make a difference? What can we say? Where do we go? This way or that way? But if we all pray and truly believe, and don't you know we got to love one another so we can let the world see that God is the answer. God is the answer. God is the answer to whatever the question may be. To whatever the question may be.
Hello, everybody. One more time. Well, it's the end of the day here, but if you'd like to join fellow community members, we do meet in Zoom directly following the celebration. That would be zoom.com/. .us, and then a /, the letter J, another /, and then our phone number for the center, 239-574-6463. That's our meeting number. If you would like a prayer, a live prayer with a practitioner, it's a very private situation. I invite you to join us in the Zoom room. Or if you'd like to grab a cup of coffee and a donut or something and join us just to chit-chat for a little while, please come and I'll see you there. Outside of that, we'll see you next week. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.